Ohai. Kajaani in the Finnish-Russian language editions. Kajaani, the Finnish city in laziness of Oulu to the southeast from the Lake Olujärvi. History. Kajaani was one of the cities founded in 1651 by the Swedish Governor-General of Finland Brage Lane. The city is named down the river by Kajaani. At the time, Kainuu's region was important for production of the pitch received from a pine, and trade in pitch was its primary branch. In 1653-1654, according to the decision of district courts of Kajaani and Sotkamo, construction of the road between Syrjäniemi and Rock was begun that considerably improved communications in the region. During Northern War, the Kajaani lock was forced to be given to the Russian troops. The lock was blown up in March 1716, and since then it is destroyed. On October 17, 1808, the General Johann Augustus Sandals won a key victory to the south from Kajaani under Iisalmi during fight at Iisalmi when its army numbering only 1,800 people won against 6,000 Russian army. The monument in honor of this event is installed on the east side of the river. Kajaani strongly suffered from hunger of 1867-1868, which devastated the most part of Finland, but the city was gradually restored and by the end of century grew to more than 1,200 inhabitants. Kajaani's town hall was constructed in 1831, the former city library in 1852, the first elementary school Kainuu in 1883 and Kajaani church in 1896. Since fall of 1917 in Kajaani, confrontation between Socialist Red Guard and the conservative and nationalist security body escalated. Schwarzker. At the end of January 1918, the seizure of power by the pro-Bolshevist government, which is imminent in Helsinki, became obvious. Conservative activists in Kajaani decided to effect anticipation. On January 24, 1918, the meeting of local took place. Schutzkora is fighting. It was decided to create a white guerrilla regiment for armed struggle against Rat. The postmaster Theodor Streinberg became the chief of staff. On March 21, the guerrilla regiment Kajaani was transformed to the 1st Battalion of a regiment of Northern Savo, and Savo is included in Army Group White. Command was entrusted to the Lieutenant E. Rikniemi. Total number of forming reached 582 people. The group was involved in large battles of civil war, capture of Kuopio, Iisalmi, Vyborg. The population of the city grew in the 1968 years to 14,000 inhabitants. Industrial development in the 1978 years and merge of separate rural municipality of Kajaani, Kajaani-Muliskanta and the cities in 1977 led to growth of the population up to 34574 by 1980. Vuoliopi was combined with Kajaani at the beginning of 2007. In 2012 in Kajaani there was an oil spill. 110 tons of oily water filtered into the river, and finally got to the Lake Olujärvi. In this city the prominent Finnish military leader Didrik von Essen was born. One of outstanding figures of the Finnish culture, Elias Lionroth, served as the district doctor. During the Civil War of 1918 in Kajaani, the White Guerrilla Group was created, one of fighters of which was Erkki Kekkonen. Economy. The woodworking plant of timber industry concern Upman in June 2012 was sold to other owner. In this connection avoided closing and disbandment. Since September 2013 the Kadintuk wholesale store began to admit to Kajaani for payment except euro as well Russian rubles. Besides, several hydroelectric power stations work in the city. The oldest of them are Amakovsky, 1917, and Kovakovsky, 1943. Printing editions. The Katisapusless newspaper appearing in Kajaani both in Finnish and in Russian languages in 2012 got special permission to distribution of the products in Russia in the city of Kostamuksha. Earlier import of printed materials through Mapvartias from Finland to Russia was forbidden. Now 10,000 copies of the newspaper are distributed in Russia for free. Sites. In 1604 the Swedish King Charles IX ordered to construct fortress in the city of Kajaani. It was necessary to Sweden to strengthen the power in Kainuu's region, passed under the power of the Swedish crown in 1595 under the Tivinsky Peace Treaty. In 1700 Great Northern War began, and in 1712 Kajaani and surrounding villages were burned. In 1715 the Russian troops surrounded the lock and demanded its delivery, but were forced to recede. A year later the General F.G. Tekin returned with 4,000 soldiers and again surrounded the lock, which remained in a siege 5 weeks while Johan Gendrik Fiant was not forced to give up on February 24, 1716. In March 1716 the General Checking blew up the lock. In 1831 the city town hall was constructed. It is the oldest building in the downtown. After restoration of a town hall in it, offices and travel news agency were placed. In 1835 the construction of the only estate Carolinberg in the province was completed. It was constructed by Frederick Kalamius, at the time the Judge Kaami. The estate received the name in 1987 by naming the new owner of the building. At the moment it is used as hotel and restaurant. The main building was reconstructed in 2014, reconstruction of the attached body continues. Museums. The city is the large cultural center. In 1930 in the city the regional museum Kainuu opened. It represents history and the culture of the province of Kainuu and the history of the city of Kajaani. Wood use, production and transportation of pitch, Elias Lionrot's life, the military history of the area and life of the old city of Kajaani is presented at an exhibition. In the Museum Kainuu there is also a collection from photos, various archived materials and reference books. The Country Museum was opened in 1991 and represents the small village created from the wooden buildings postponed here from different parts of the province. More than 30 buildings and constructions in a museum zone illustrate settlements and the yards at a turn of the 19th and 20th centuries. In the museum about 4,000 objects. The museum is open in summer months. In 1993 in the old building of police station of the city the art museum was open. The collection of the museum is generally finished out of 1980th and 1990th. It is provided in several public spaces of the city. Religion. The first Kajaani church was constructed in 1656 and existed within 60 years. The second church is built in 1735 and served 160 years. The present building was built in 1897 and represents a sample of wooden architecture in style of a neo-Gothic style. The oldest remained religious building in the city is the Pultaniemi Church, in the village of Pultaniemi, which nowadays enters city agglomeration. The first building was built in 1556, and the present temple was built in 1726. In the territory of the village of Woolioke, which is a part of the city, the only stone church in the province of Kainu, Woolioke Church, is located. It was constructed in 1906. Now the temple accommodates 420 believers. For an Okormalai of the Orthodox community in the city, there is a Church of the Transfiguration constructed in 1959 on the project of the architect Elmaria Khanun. Internal furniture of church is executed in style of the Byzantine temple tradition. Frescoes cover walls from a floor to a dome. Sasaki and Cypriot Alkaviad worked on painting of church more than 17 years. The icon painter, most famous in Finland, Petros. This church is called sometimes the Byzantine Pearl and considered one of the most beautiful in Finland. Sport. In the city, one of the oldest centers for ski jumping, Vimpelinvaara, is located. It was constructed on the hill of the same name in 1934. Hosted the Ski Sports Championship of Finland twice, in 1959 and 1970. In 2017, the biggest springboard of K-60 was demolished. Small springboards will be reconstructed for further use. In 1989 in the city, the ice arena of Kajaani was open. It is home stadium for Team on Kajaani Hakas hockey. Exists since 1968. Who acts in the third and level division of Finland. Capacity of the arena is viewers. The skating rink is used for holding trainings and hockey, figure skating, bandy competitions, and also for Massachusetts driving. In 2001 the sports park of Kajaani was open, then the sandy baseball field, which became house for women's team of Kajaani Pelukara, was built. In 2006, according to the program of Oea Hattrick, the football field with stands with a total capacity of 800 audience was created. It became house for 3 soccer teams at once. One of the first means of transport in the city became water. So in 1836-1845, the pitch canal was built. It was necessary for ensuring transportation of tar from northern Finland. The channel functioned for 1915, then it was restored only in 1984. Now it is the only functioning channel for transportation of pitch in the world. In 1905 to the city, a branch line 83 came long from the city of Iisalmi was built. The building of the station was designed by Gustaf Nyström. This building in modernist style is often called the most beautiful station of Finland. In 2005 ways were electrified. Sale of tickets for stations stopped on August 2, 2014, but at the station there is a ticket machine. In 1957 and 7 kilometers from the downtown there was a free airport of Kajaani. It has a runway 2.5 km long with an asphalt covering. The passenger traffic for 2011 made 78,000 people. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.